What's up, guys? Justin Morgan here, carved up vegan muscle. I'm just chilling with Jasper. Jasper has not been happy lately. He made his way outside the other day, and the mailman was coming, and Jasper is an extremely territorial cat. So when he saw the mailman coming up, he latched onto his legs, and Jasper doesn't have any front claws, but he does have back claws. So he started tearing into the mailman's leg, and I guess he cut him open kind of bad. I felt really bad about it. So we have been trying really hard to keep him locked inside and make sure he doesn't get out, because I don't want the mailman to get hurt again. And the mailman sprayed Jasper with something. I'm not sure what exactly it was, but Jasper was not all that happy about it either. So he needs a little cuddle time today. But the real point in this video is, why am I competing in powerlifting? Nobody really asked me this question, but I thought it was kind of an apropos time to discuss that. And initially, I had gotten interested in weightlifting. I was an exercise science student at the time, and obviously weightlifting is a part of that. It's not the largest part. In exercise science, we really don't discuss weightlifting to a great deal. It's more about general health, general fitness, and weightlifting is just a part of that. It's not really the main item. But for personal trainers, at least, weightlifting has a significant role in that. Now, this is obviously back a few years ago now. So I started weightlifting in about May of 2012, and part of it was, people were like, well, you're a vegan, you're really not going to go very far with this. You're going to have a hard time, and I guess to me part of that was really challenging, because I'm thinking, well, this diet's really healthy. Like I've eliminated sickness from my life. Not entirely. I have been sick in the last few years in terms of like getting a cold, or like right now I have some allergies and that kind of thing that I have. I mean, not at the moment, but certain points in the day I'll start sneezing a lot and my nose will start dripping. And that's not really been resolved, no matter what kind of vegan diet I followed. But for the most part, comparatively to when I was, following a meat-based diet, I've eliminated sickness. I haven't really had colds and flus and that kind of thing. More than, I think 2 times I've been sick in the last 2 years, or 2.5 years, or since, 2011, or 3 years now. So, I thought this diet is so healthy, it has to, there has to be some kind of benefit, in terms of, it can't be that bad for building muscle. And, at that time, Patrick Babomian wasn't a vegan yet in 2011. There were some bodybuilders out there, but amongst strength athletes at least, they don't really usually consider bodybuilders to be strength athletes, because usually they're not very strong. They'll get strong at different points in the year, but then when they cut down for the bodybuilding, it dramatically impedes their strength. So bodybuilders aren't necessarily always that well respected amongst legitimate strength athletes, or people whose primary focus is to compete in strength. So I didn't really have a lot of people to look at and say, well, this person did this, I can do it too. So later, May 2012, I started lifting weights, and I saw that Patrick Babomian had become a vegan. I was like, well, here's this guy now. We'll see how he does. And he not only got stronger, but he went on to set some world records and do some more things as a vegan, even beyond just being a vegetarian. So for me personally, I started looking at some of this, and I kind of, at that point, I did have people to look up to, people that said, this person's doing it, I can do it too. And another part of me, though, just liked strength sports. I was seeing, some of these other people do powerlifting, and it's like, I like this, I enjoy this, I want to do it. So my motivation at that point became, I want to do this because I like it, regardless of, it really wasn't about demonstrating to other people that vegans can do something. It was more about this is just something that I enjoy. And that kind of brings me to the main topic today. Sorry about that, lost track of what in the world I was saying. But I guess to get down to it, my main point, like this weekend I'm going to be competing, and so part of what I do is that I do want to demonstrate to people that as a vegan, you don't have to limit yourself. You shouldn't. I remember reading an article a while back in bodybuilding.com, and it had been about, I can't, it was something to do with strength training, but I remember the author of the article was saying, well, vegans need to train a little bit differently because they don't have the nutrients to make muscle gains that meat eaters will. And I remember thinking, that is such crap. I mean, that just pissed me off. Just reading that, I about lost my mind, I guess. But if you do that, if you're a vegan and you train differently, you know, you're more softer on yourself because you're a vegan, you're not going to get as good of results. So if you want to be strong and you want to be stronger than, you know, people that are competing in your sport, then you need to train more intensely than them, not less. But so my purposes in competing is, one, I do as a vegan want to kind of demonstrate that vegans, you know, I want to be encouraging to other vegans that are interested in strength sports, that are interested in, you know, whatever it is you want to do. It could be any area. But then the other part is I want to do well because I enjoy the sport. I enjoy, you know, meeting the people in it. I enjoy, you know, in some types of, you know, federations with powerlifting, you go in and everybody is very competitive against each other, and they're looking at each other with disdain and loathing, like they don't like each other, or at least not on that day, they don't anyway. But, you know, my experiences so far in like strongman and powerlifting, more so in strongman, but also in powerlifting, is that the people are really friendly. They're really nice. They're you know, they enjoy seeing each other. They're all there to compete because we all love lifting weights, and it's something that we all enjoy. And you know, so it's a fun thing. It's not this like really weird dynamic between each other. One excellent reason to compete is that it gives you a renewed enthusiasm every time you send in an entry form or sign up on something to progress. I mean, it puts a lot of pressure on you to evaluate where you're at right now and consider like what kind of increases you want to make. And you know, right now I am, you know, I've only trained a couple of times in the last week or so, and I've got a few days even still before the next meet, so I'm really about resting. So I think the last time I trained on Saturday, and I think I posted maybe a video. I don't know if I put any footage from Saturday though, but I went up and hit big singles, you know, near my maximal attempts. On Tuesday, I went into the gym, not here at my house, but at where I train and do the powerlifting and Olympic weightlifting classes and stuff that I teach. And you know, it was really a good experience because I started out, we were hitting big numbers on the squats, and then I went over and did a bench press, and people were starting to gather around, and people were watching and talking. And then we recruited some of those same people when we went into the Olympic weightlifting room, and that's where I usually do deadlifts because it's concrete floor underneath the rubber in the weightlifting area, and when you set metal weights down on, you know, this little rubber thing that with concrete underneath it, it's almost like dropping metal plates onto concrete floors. It's really loud and it echoes throughout the room. So we go into the Olympic room and use the bumper plates in addition to the metal plates because we only have one set of 45s bumper plates. So, you know, by the time I got in there, you know, there was like a crowd of like 7 people that all wanted to jump in on deadlifts, and they were watching me deadlift. And usually I don't have that many people come to the powerlifting class. They think the Olympic weightlifting class is like CrossFit or something, so they all like coming to that. But, you know, doing that, you know, I'm working up to big singles, and it puts a pressure on you to compete. It puts a pressure on you to better yourself, to get better in the sport, to improve your technique. And, you know, I've only trained a couple times. Right now, I sat down last night and went through percentages and looked at my training over the next 12 weeks. and I have a 12-week program, lined up already to start the Monday after my competition, because competing in general just puts your mind in that mode to set goals, to better yourself. It puts a pressure on you to do better. So somebody that is competing is always going to make faster gains, to progress better, assuming that they feel that pressure, that they do that. I've seen people, and I know it's entirely possible for you to walk in and just say, well, I'm strong, I do this, yada yada yada, I'm going to do well, and they walk in and they may do okay in the competition, but they didn't necessarily have that drive to get better themselves, to get better throughout the competition. So I think that competing, for most of us that have that drive, is a big factor, and it can play in big to how well you progress over time. So those are my, I guess, reasons for competing in powerlifting, is that, to demonstrate myself as a vegan and being part of the community. 2, that it's something that I enjoy, and 3, I guess it gives you guys something to watch on the channel here, because if all I was doing is just standing up and giving these talks every now and then and showing some of my training, it may not be as I don't know, legitimate as if I every now and then do actually compete in something and do something aside from that. So I appreciate you guys watching. If you care, like, subscribe, do all that good stuff. And I'll talk to you guys later. This weekend, actually, probably my next video will be either Saturday or Sunday. I'll get the footage from the competition and load it in. I'll probably be pretty tired on Saturday getting home from the competition, so it may not be until Sunday, at the latest Monday, that I'll get the video out. But look forward to competing. Look forward to seeing what you guys think afterwards. So talk to you soon.